Aboru aboye, aboshishe, alafia to the community. I want to talk about how to know if witchcraft is affecting your IFA reading. This is something that I've observed over the years from getting adafas from various different babalaos and so forth. And one of the things that I observe is that sometimes when you're getting an IFA reading, things may manifest in an Odu or a message that may not necessarily apply to you, but it is a part of the message that IFA is trying to get across to you. Now, we have to understand that because IFA speaks through the Odu, and the Odu have already these messages and things that are associated with each Odu for whatever particular type of situation that a person may be dealing with, we can't expect for IFA to speak so clearly that IFA will say, hey, this person got witchcraft blocking the Odu. Like, I don't even know if there's an Odu that actually says that. But we can't expect IFA to say, oh, the reason why I said this is because this person has witchcraft on them. The Odus do not read that way. And so when you get these Odus and you get these messages that are not necessarily have a way to relate to you. I mean, sometimes in some way it may be a little bit, but it's not at the depth of what they're trying to say. Like, say for instance, an Odu, for example, may say, oh, this person is addicted to drugs. And you're thinking in your head like, no, I'm not. I barely even smoke weed or anything. You know what I mean? Like, and so then at that point, you have to ask yourself, and we know IFA is not lying because IFA words do not touch the floor. So then at that point, we have to ask ourselves, why is IFA saying this? Now, me having the experience of working in the spiritual realms and many different traditions, especially in traditions that involve witchcraft, my mind is already acclimated to think witchcraft in any situation that comes up that is like that. Whereas the average person who only been trained in IFA and only been taught to think as a traditional IFA priest will not always say, you know, they just gonna give you the message. And if you don't have the courage to speak up and ask the Baba loud, hey Baba, I'm not addicted to drugs, so what is IFA talking about? You know what I mean? Then they're gonna give you some excuse, some reason what IFA is talking about or whatever. I think not only like a priest, but I also think like a sorcerer, like a brujo, because I'm a brujo and I'm a priest. And so when I hear that, if a person told me, Baba, Tata, I'm not a drug addict. I barely even do this. I barely even do that. My mind as a Tata is going to automatically say, let's see if somebody's throwing witchcraft on you. Because if IFA is saying that you're a drug addict, somebody wants you to be hooked on drugs. And you telling me you're not a drug addict. Right? And we can even ask IFA right there, is this person really a drug addict? Is this person lying to me at the mat? I can just ask right there. IFA said, no, they're not lying. They're not a drug addict. Okay, then let's see. IFA, are you saying that this person is a drug addict because they have witchcraft on them to make them become a drug addict? IFA says yes. Okay, so we have confirmed with IFA that there is witchcraft on you that somebody is doing because they want you to be hooked on drugs. They want you to destroy your life with drugs, right? But you are not using drugs, right? Not excessively, whether it be marijuana, weed, whatever. Even if you smoke, you're not using it excessively enough to where it's going to destroy your life, right? But somebody wants you to get addicted to drugs so that it eventually destroys your life, right? And so the ebo that you make for that particular Odu will still take care of the witchcraft, because it's going to, if I was going to say, well, you need to make ebo so you don't do this. or Ifa or Babalawo may prescribe you an akoshe, a medicine that will prevent you from getting addicted to drugs, but still in your mind you thinking, I'm not a drug addict, so I don't even feel compelled to use any type of drug. You know what I mean? And so you still do the ebo, you still make the ebo, because the ebo is going to clear away that energy, that witchcraft as well. There's other ways you could clear away the witchcraft very simply, but you would have to be a tata and a baba. And in my realm, I can tell a person, look, let's just go out here, I'm gonna clean you off with this rooster in front of this and that, and that'll be gone. And we'll check and see if that'll be gone. We're gonna still do the ebo, but to get it off immediately right now, let's just go ahead and clean that off. We'll wop the bam. You know what I mean? And then we could go back to Ifa and ask Ifa with a puele, Ifa, is this person still a drug addict? And Ifa says no, then we definitely have confirmed that it was the witchcraft, right? And so by confirming that it was the witchcraft, and I've done this, I've literally done this, you have to now consider, does every message in the Ifa Odu truly apply to me? Because if somebody tells me, if Ifa says, this person is going to cheat on their spouse, and you're like, no, I'm not. I have no desire to cheat on my spouse. That's definitely not something that I want to do or that I'm going to do. Not necessarily me, but anybody. So then, if you're sitting in front of me, somebody who's a baba and a tata, I'm going to ask, I'm going to be like, man, you say you don't have no desire to cheat on your wife. Ifa, is this person going to cheat on their wife? Ifa says, no. Then I have to say, okay, well, why did that come up in the Odu? Somebody's trying to make it so that you leave your spouse or leave your significant other or whatever, right? Ifa, are you saying that this person is going to cheat on their spouse because of witchcraft? Yes. Okay, so now we know that somebody is throwing witchcraft to either break up and separate you and your spouse, or to cause you to leave your spouse or whatever, to cause problems in your relationship, in your family or whatever. And so in today's community, we have to take the time to be more thorough in the way that we divine by asking questions, especially with Ifa, and not just blindly relying on the messages given in the Odu, because we are now living in a new age spiritual community where everybody's a brujo, everybody's a bruja, everybody got beef with everybody, and you could just possibly have witchcraft on you, right? You could just possibly have witchcraft on you, okay? And so now we have to start going deeper into the messages and the readings that we receive. We just can't blindly follow a word like we going to church. This ain't church, okay? We can't just blindly follow a word. We have to use our spiritual insight and foresight to be able to properly diagnose a problem. Instead of just saying, oh, the Ebo will take care of it. And the Ebo, for some time, for the most part, will take care of it. But you don't want to leave the mat thinking, damn, am I really a drug addict? You start questioning your own damn reality, because you don't understand why Ifa is saying this, and you have so much faith and devotion into Ifa that you don't want to say you're not going to listen to Ifa. So now you become confused. So all I'm saying is I'm putting a word out there that everybody needs to do a little bit more research, a little bit more digging when you get that Ifa reading. And sometimes things don't seem like it truly applies. If it don't seem like it truly applies, then 9 times out of 10, there's some unnatural forces that are surrounding you in the spiritual realms that are trying to make it appear that that's your reality when it's not. All right? Odabu.